For data owners, managing a CMDB occurs right at the boundary between technical infrastructure and the executive boardroom, specifically the inability to differentiate between a business service and a technology management service. Blurring this line corrupts your impact analysis and makes service portfolio management impossible to execute accurately. This is the ServiceNow Common Service Data Model, or CSDM version 5. It solves this exact problem. Notice the hard boundary separating the green service consumption domain on the right from the orange service delivery domain on the left. Defining and defending that specific line is the foundational requirement for IT service management workflows to correctly identify and target the right operational entities. Today, we will define these configuration items strictly according to out-of-the-box CSDM5 documentation, eliminating any guesswork. We will map their domains, compare their platform behaviors side by side, and examine concrete modeling examples pulled directly from ServiceNow architecture guides. This guidance requires intermediate platform knowledge and will focus exclusively on database realities rather than marketing theory. By the end, you will know exactly when to model a business service versus a technology management service, and why the service offering is the critical linchpin for both. First, the business service, which resides on the cmdb CI service business table. These are published to business users, underpin business capabilities, and represent strategic value, the what the customer sees. Then we have the technology management service, formerly called the technical service, on the cmdb CI service technical table. These are published to IT service owners to provide administrative and operational functions. They are strictly provider-focused. Connecting them is the service offering, sitting on the service offering table. CSDM defines the service offering as the stratification of a service into specific tiers. All actionable commitments, SLAs, pricing, availability, and subscriptions live exclusively on the offering, never on the base service CI. A base service is merely a conceptual wrapper. The offering is the requestable, SLA-bearing instantiation that actually drives platform metrics. Structurally, business services and their offerings sit within the green service consumption domain. Technology management services and their offerings map to the orange service delivery domain. The operational bridge connecting these two domains is the service instance, the CI formerly known as the application service. Downward dependency flow dictates that business service offerings consume service instances. Those service instances then depend on technology management offerings. This specific chain is how the platform connects a high-level business request directly to the underlying IT infrastructure delivery mechanism. Let's evaluate the two side by side using a comparative matrix across 4 key operational dimensions. For perspective, business services are consumer-focused, while technology management services are provider-focused. Their audiences differ as well: business users and customers versus IT service owners. Ownership follows suit, moving from business owners to IT application and infrastructure owners. However, in both cases, the SLA and commitments live exclusively at the service offering level. While their audiences and perspectives are different, their architectural reliance on the service offering to function is identical. Consider the documented example of financial accounting, which begins with the high-level business capability, managing finance. This capability is supported by the business service, financial accounting. That service is stratified into specific business service offerings for the general ledger and payables. Both of these offerings consume the exact same service instance, SAP Finance. Down in the delivery layer, SAP Finance depends on the technology management service, hosting. Finally, hosting provides its own technical offerings, Hosting Standard and Hosting Advanced. This vertical stack allows ServiceNow to show exactly how a failure in the hosting layer automatically degrades the payables offering for business consumers. We see the same pattern in corporate email. This business service relies on the service instance Outlook 365 webmail. That service instance is delivered via the underlying technology management service, Microsoft Exchange service. Because of this structural separation, IT can swap out the underlying server technology without ever needing to redefine the business service for the end users. We can distill this into 3 rules. First, if the service defines outcomes customers want without owning the costs and risks, model a business service. Second, if the service represents the management of infrastructure, dynamic CI groups or internal hosting, model a technology management service. Third, if you are defining SLA commitments or pricing, you must create a service offering. Answering the question, who consumes this at the start of your design, dictates your entire CI architecture. When a data owner bypasses the service offering, they remove the only table capable of anchoring SLA commitments to the service model. Mapping SLA commitments directly to a generic business service like Internet Service breaks the data model because that record cannot handle multiple performance tiers. You must use offerings to represent specific packages, like Gold Internet Service, because out-of-the-box service portfolio management requires an offering to track SLAs. Another common pitfall is confusing application services with actual software applications. To resolve this, the base table, cmdb CI Service Auto, is now officially labeled Service Instance in the user interface. This label better represents deployed stacks that aren't strict applications, such as data or network service instances. ServiceNow does not have hard-coded guardrails to block these data entry errors. The data owner must act as the primary enforcer of Csdm rules. In summary, business services face the consumer to capture value, while technology management services face IT to manage delivery. Both sides require service offerings to operationalize commitments, SLAs, and pricing, and both sides meet in the middle at the service instance. Maintaining this strict out-of-the-box separation is the only way to ensure your CMDB natively supports accurate ITSM impact analysis, incident routing, and service portfolio management.